Got a long one today. AM Sports Report brought to you by Hobby Habit in LeGrand. Why settle for chocolate when you can have an advent calendar full of Legos? Lego's unique advent calendars feature a new mini build every day in the run up to Christmas. With calendars available in a wide variety of different Lego themes and interests, there's something for everyone. Hobby Habit, 411 First Street in LeGrand, just for the fun of it. We're going to kick it off with LHS football today. They went on the road, dropped a tough one to Cascade, who's arguably the best team in the state, 51-7. It's rough. It's a non-league game, so it doesn't affect the GOL at all. It does affect the rankings for LeGrand, but thankfully Cascade was, I think, either 1 or 2 in the OSAA rankings, so it didn't drop us too much. I think we might have I think we're right in the 9 area right now. They go to the Dalles on Friday, the Tigers, for a 7 p.m. kickoff against the Riverhawks. Pendleton dominated the Dalles this last Friday, 35-13. The score it wasn't that close of a game. It wasn't like a 2-score game. It was more like a 3 or 4-score game, but it ended up being 35-13, which I guess is a 3-score game. But it didn't seem like it was. It seemed kind of like a blowout to me. The Bucks host Ontario this Friday at 7 p.m. and that'll be live streamed right here on EO Alive. 7 o'clock. Tune in. You can check it out. We got 2 weeks of high school football left, regular season, and then we're done. On Halloween is our last live stream of the year, unless one of the teams makes the playoff, has home games, and picks us up. It's Pendleton's homecoming, so it's a big game for the Bucks, and I mean, I think it's going to be a setup. I think Pendleton probably dominates that game, and it's going to set everything up for Pendleton and LeGrand on Halloween right here in LeGrand, and that's going to, I mean, even though Pendleton started the season 0-6, doesn't mean they aren't going to play us tough, because they always do. Baker went on the road and came back to beat Ontario 34-22 in a game that was much closer than what the score looked. At one point in the fourth quarter, it was 22-21 Ontario, and I thought Ontario was going to squeak out their first win of the year, but Baker ended up getting that one. The Bulldogs go to Malala this Friday with that game kicking off at 7 p.m. The GOL is basically up for grabs. I mean, it really is. It's everybody in the GOL has a win except for Ontario, even the Dalles, and LeGrand is still undefeated in the GOL, so LeGrand's going to look to close that GOL schedule out with the Dalles and then Pendleton on Halloween, and we could win the GOL is what I'm saying, and I did not predict that at the beginning of the year. It's a very nice surprise. In football around the Valley, Embler beat Cove 50-12 on Friday night. Elgin had a bye. Union beat Crane 42-24, and Powder beat Pine Eagle 34-0. LHS volleyball had a huge 5-set victory over Baker last Thursday night. Exactly the same thing that happened in Baker, except for Baker won in 5 sets. They're the 2 and 3 team in the GOL. Pendleton's running away with it, but it's every time they meet over the last few years, it's been a battle, and it's really nice to see this LeGrand team competing, at volleyball. There was a couple years where it was kind of rough, and they're back in the swing of it. This team this year is the best team I've seen in a few years for sure. They go to Ontario on Thursday, and that game starts at 6:30. The girls' soccer team lost 3-2 to Malala on Thursday. They head to Baker today for a GOL match that kicks off at 4, while the boys go to Baker as well, with that game kicking off at 6. EOU football. This is such a good surprise. They went on the road and beat Southern 21-7. The defense showed that if you can get some help, they can shut teams down. And, I mean, I've been a firm believer of that all year. This EOU defense is stifling. But if they're on the field the whole game, it's really hard to stop teams. And you saw it this last Saturday down in Ashland when, EOU basically dominated that game 21-7. Ethan Cutler, the kicker, was named the Frontier Conference Special Teams Player of the Week for his kicking efforts. The Mounties are 3-3 overall, 2-0 in the Frontier Conference, and host rival and number 16 in the nation, College of Idaho, this Saturday at 1 p.m. Will definitely be a physical, in-your-face game. It always is. And the Mounties look to get revenge from a 21-17 non-conference loss earlier in the season against the Yotes. Right now, the Mounties are in first place in the Frontier, and if you would have asked me if after 2 games the Mounties are in first place, 2 conference games, at the beginning of the season I would have said no. But I've always been a believer in the defense. I was just kind of like, on the edge about the offense, and it seems like this team's starting to find its groove, and they might have a chance at a Frontier Conference title. EOU volleyball lost their first game of the season on Friday in Salem. The number 8 Corbin. The Mounties' win streak was snapped at 20 after the Warriors took the match 3-1. The Mounties turned around and buried number 23 Bushnell on Saturday night in straight sets, 25-12, 25-16, and 25-18. They're at home this weekend versus OIT and Southern. They play OIT Friday night at 6, Southern Saturday at 4. Get up there and support them. They're still going to be the number 1 team in the nation, no doubt. I mean, there's nobody even close to them. It's funny. That was EOU's first loss to Corbin, who's the number 2 team in the conference over the last 10 years. We've just switched back and forth with them. But that was EOU's first loss to Corbin since 2022.
Wow.
And I was trying to think about that and grasp that, how fast time has gone. Because it feels like just yesterday that they were battling and lost to Corbin in the conference tournament, but that was 2022. I usually talk to Coach Kaki after the game, and I didn't even get a message from her until today. So, losing that Corbin game, she was pissed. So it takes a little bit of time to let that burn off before she's ready to talk about volleyball. But and I get it 100%. I just think that this is fuel for the fire. You have to lose. I'm not a fan of going into a national tournament undefeated. It's too much pressure, too big of a target. And I was thinking to myself, why not let Corbin be the fire? I mean, that's our nemesis in volleyball, and we want to beat them every time, and we lost, so that'll get you some good fuel for sure. EOU men's soccer beat OIT and Southern this weekend here in LeGrand to remain undefeated. Another one where, they won the conference tournament last year. If you would have asked me if this far along in the season, if EOU men's soccer is undefeated, I would have said no. They're not just undefeated in the CCC. They're undefeated overall. Yeah, they have a few ties, but man, it's crazy. This EOU men's soccer team, I knew it was good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they won the tournament last year. But I didn't know it was as good as it is. And they're playing at a top level. They're going to make some national noise. When the last poll came out, they finally got some votes, so they're receiving votes. And I would not be surprised if when the next poll comes out, they crack the top 25. I think every undefeated team at this point in the season should be in the top 25. That's my own personal, belief on that. But Henry Lopez was named the CCC Offensive Player of the Week. Lopez scored the only goal of the game in the 1-0 win over Southern on Saturday. They host University of Providence on Friday, 6:30, right up here at Community Stadium. EOU women's soccer put together a pair of 2-1 victories over OIT and Southern at home this weekend as well. EOU player, the Peyton Jackoway, was named the CCC Offensive Player of the Week. She had 3 goals and 3 assists, which is a 6-point weekend, which is over 2 games. That's huge. I mean, that's all of EOU's goals she was, accounted for in some way, shape, or form. They also host University of Providence on Friday, with that game kicking off at 4. And finally, EOU men's and women's cross country had a historical team weekend at the George Oja Invite at Oak Knoll Golf Course. Leading the charge was Riley Morris, who came within 1.8 seconds of breaking the all-time EOU 6K record set by Carly Coffey. And she finished in an outstanding 21 minutes, 30.8 seconds. Right behind her, Kalia Hines had the 3rd fastest 6K in EOU history. And Kaya Carlson. These are all local people. Burns, Cove, LeGrand are those three people right there. Kaya Carlson, Maddie Woodbury, Taylor Reddick all added their names to the record books too, running the 8th, 10th, and 11th fastest times in EOU history, respectively. The women finished 7th with 242 points and were the top NAIA team in the field. As for the men, Thomas Ogden once again led the way. He was the NAIA National Runner of the Week, not this week, but the week before. He posted a time of 24 minutes, 7 seconds, the fourth fastest 8K in school history. Grady Greenwood was close behind. Trevor Nichols, James Thatcher, and then to round out the top 5, Hunter Marlatt. The Mountaineers claimed the top NAIA team of the race on the men's side as well. Here's the cool part. They go right back to that same course on November 9th for the CCC championships. And, I mean, just mentally, that's a win right there because you're going right back to the place where you just had a historical weekend. And I mean, that's nothing but good for these nationally ranked cross-country teams. And a sports report brought to you by Hobby Habit, just for the fun of it.